This is Working for Progress, a podcast that connects us through conversations about how we craft our working lives and make progress. We'll be joined by our communities from Tribe Porty and Keystone. Tribe Porty is a community co-working space and creative hub. We are full of entrepreneurs, social enterprises, freelancers, charities, and SMEs. Keystone is the other social enterprise which supports women to reimagine their working lives. We do this by providing a holistic approach to business through courses, programs, mentoring, group coaching, and events.
Welcome to today's conversation. I'm Alice, the community manager at Tribe Porty.
And I'm Dani, founder and director of both Tribe Porty and Keystone.
Here at Working for Progress, we're all about connecting good people, sharing their stories, their challenges, and the progress they make for themselves and for others. We hope this podcast challenges your ways of thinking and inspires you to work for progress.
Working for Progress starts with simple pleasures, finishes in awe, and meanders through career journeys in between.
Today we are joined by Inessa. Inessa is a Ukrainian writer and she has been creating and producing stories for more than 15 years. Her career journey started in TV screenwriting with a focus on documentaries and TV shows. She has now transitioned into writing and producing narratives for a mobile game developing company. Welcome, Inessa.
Welcome, Inessa.
Thank you. It's really nice to be here.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into it.
Okay.
Hear more from you. We'll warm up with an easy thing around your 5 simple pleasures.
Oh gosh. So I listened to the simple pleasures of the people you already interviewed. There's a lot of fun. And mine would be driving.
New one.
Driving, putting makeup on. Let's throw that in there because that is a simple pleasure. I really like recording voicemails and sending them to my friends and receiving and listening to them.
Nice.
And walking and throwing dinners with friends, like making dinners with friends now.
I like the dinner one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Driving. Interesting.
Yeah.
When did you get your license?
So I got my license at the age when it was legally possible in Ukraine, which is, I want to say 18.
Okay.
But I started driving at the age of 14 because my father is a driving instructor. And he's really into cars, so I spent a lot of my childhood with him in his garage, like fixing stuff and all. And I said, I really want to be a driver. And I told that to him when we were on a vacation by the seaside. And it's this really wild seaside with like a cliff and sea and like really old roads. So he goes, okay, have a seat. And we're going to drive. So his trust was amazing. And this is how I first tried to. And it's been my guilty pleasure ever since.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And do you drive here?
I didn't have, I'm kind of slowly easing back into things that I used to have, but no driving, not yet. But I'm really curious because it's the other side of the road. So, and I think I probably will talk to you more about it.
Sure, yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Was it a switch?
Yeah, and similarly, in South Dakota, you can get your driver's license at 14. So I've had a license since I was 14.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
I drove myself to middle school.
14-year-olds should not be able to drive a car.
I know. It's crazy to think about now.
So crazy.
It didn't seem crazy at the time, and I suppose it's I came from a fairly small town, so maybe there were less risks, but plenty of car accidents. Not from me, but as young kids. So yeah. And also my daughter who's 13, just about to turn 14, also loves to drive. Like she loves car stuff. She loves driving.
Yeah.
So interesting. I was wondering where that came from, but that makes sense. It was a bond with your dad.
And it's free. It's also about freedom.
It is something about freedom. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wish I got those feelings from driving.
But like I don't get You're into cycling. This is like absolute stress for me. So.
We're like the opposites. Yeah. One cycling, one driving.
Yeah.
I love that one. That was good. And makeup, because you're not like you wear a lot of makeup, but you love putting it on.
I think it has to do a lot with freedom, but also creativity. Because sometimes I wake up and really, I'm not all of my mornings are really good. I'm not sure how that's with you, but not all of them are good. And sometimes I really want to brighten it up a bit. So I'm gonna go and like put mascara on, and that will immediately shift the mood. Or just about exploring, because I think it's so fun being able to change from time to time. So it's not dramatic, but why not? Yeah.
Love it. That is a simple pleasure.
Yeah.
Great. I would love to know what values you live by. If you hold any dear ones, or if you've thought about this since we asked the question.
So the question about values really got me because I never thought about it. Like when I started working, values were not something that were like out there. So the question about values I got to when I was working a lot in therapy, and this is where I kind of came to the values that I value: authenticity, well-being, and collaboration. And those kind of merge nicely into my creative work and keep me afloat and keep me inspired, but also allow me to pick projects that I like and say no to projects I don't like, and that being all very healthy in a way. But I wish I knew that sooner, because it's like marks in the road. It just helps greatly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
So that kind of a reflective, looking back. So how are you able to kind of embody those values in your work now? You have those values now,
yes,
and you stick to them?
I do.
Yeah.
So creative work, the work that I do with writing, means writing is like a very selfish act, but also a very selfless act. Because once it's written and it needs to be produced, you are to invite a lot of people into your writing to kind of adjust it, like make it work, be it in video or in sound, and that means a lot of it you'll need to work with feedback, but also stick to something that you wrote and do that with like proper boundaries. So I would say that the value of well-being, for example. So I'd research, even if I know that I don't feel comfortable with people, I feel too stressed or nervous, I probably will not go into the project, or I will take some time to get ready to make it into something that's okay rather than conflicting, for example. So that's one way to look at it. But also, it's about stories. About being authentic for me means being hopeful. So I don't write stories that are not about hope in the end. So that kind of also helps, because there are a lot of stories and projects that can be produced, and it's easy to get lost in them. If it's good money, for example, what would you? But you end up feeling miserable. That's about me.
So a lot about how it makes you feel, but also about what you're putting out into the world.
It is very true, because a lot of the stories don't have my name on them.
Okay.
But it will be a feeling like when I was a little kid, and I spent a lot of time on my own. I spent that time reading. And I remember feeling really grateful as a kid to the authors who allowed me to create these worlds in my head, so that I didn't feel like less alone, or I like found like easier to navigate in the really old childhood life. But whenever I write stories and I put them out there, my hope is that it will be like a navigation for somebody, or somebody will have a good aftertaste, or somebody will feel hopeful after that. So it's a feeling of connection too, in an odd way. But that's possible only if I'm authentic to myself, only if I keep well-being in my head, and only if I prioritize like quality collaboration. So yeah. Knowing that now is really good. Like when I was 20 and working on television, I didn't know any of that. That was very, very confusing.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Yeah. When did you start writing?
Professionally, I think at around 19, when I got to the newsroom, and I was really willing. I didn't know anything, but I really wanted to. So that's when I kind of. But before that, I always created. I think I grew up in a small street that had like 5 houses, and each house had a couple of kids. So what we'd do is we'd put together theater performances. Those are really long and boring. One can last like for a whole day, for example, and I contribute to like roughly writing it. And only the biggest fans, like my grandma, somebody else's grandma, would sit through. So I started creating and imagining like back as a kid, but writing professionally, I think at 19. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a long time.
Yeah, it's now that I never thought of it, but now that I look back, I think it's really cool that I am lucky in a way that I get to do for a living something that I really, really like, which is that's somehow not how it always works in life, does it?
No,
Yeah.
no.
So
on that note, what's your most random job or worst job you've ever had to date?
When I was a student, and I needed some pocket money, and my friend and I, we decided that it's time to work because we're proper adults. So we found this makeup company. Now, I'm not sure if that is if it's something that you folks have in the United States or in the United Kingdom, if that rings a bell. So what you would do is you grab a box, and by box I mean a huge bag of makeup where it has like eyeliner, like all of it. It's
like
heavy. Pretty much, thanks.
That's where my brain was
And
going.
what you do next is you walk into the office and you'd offer it to people who this is the first time you see them. So this is like the cold call. Is it the
Yes.
That's such an old school sales job, isn't it?
that I felt miserable. So that was day one. And I was, my mentor was somebody who's been doing the job for 2 years. And I could see she was miserable too. But she just stuck with it for 2 years. And she was trying to kind of promote all the awesome stuff that you get while working, and like a good salary, like travel like from office to office.
I get to walk around the town.
So I think by like half of the first day, that's half. And my friend was taken to like a next city, a smaller town, on her like day, introduction day. So I'm texting to her and I'm saying, this is really odd. And she says, you tell me I'm in the office with like 2 people, both of them are men, and I'm like, and I have to push like mascara to them. So, but it gets really weird because the company that's sold these products, their key point about the makeup was that it's made with bear fat.
What?
I know.
I thought you were going to say love and care.
So, and it's hard even to keep my face straight now that I remember the day. But I think the question after which I realized that I'm done, this is not the career, this is not the money, that's day one. One of the men in the office who was really supportive, and he was like, yeah, okay, go ahead, do your job. But when he heard about the bears and he looked at the box, he said, you must have killed a lot of bears.
Is that even legal?
That was a while ago.
It was a while ago, thank you, Dani. So yeah, so I was like, I'm done.
So how long did you last?
I had to last 8 hours. I lasted, I think, 4.5.
Oh, not even a day.
No. My friend didn't either. So we didn't agree on that, but we met somewhere in downtown. Like, we didn't earn any money, so we couldn't afford like a coffee or something, but we were so happy.
It taught you what you didn't want to do.
It's true. Also, to take care of bears.
And yeah.
Those poor bears.
Yeah, those schemes are really popular. I mean,
Okay.
Avon's, my grandma was an Avon lady. And
There you
I mean,
go.
for like 50 years, like a long time. But I mean, they still happen. There's just,
Yeah.
the companies just changed names, but the principle's the same. And I think it's built on the idea that women congregate in communities, so therefore you just need a community to go to and sell to.
Yeah.
Thinking about your work journey and where you are now, can you talk about a time where you took a risk, or your biggest risk in your working life?
I think, so there were a few, I was thinking about them. So there was an episode, for example, where I went against a producer and invited somebody to perform on stage, to be auditioned, and that turned out to be great, but that could have been potentially a scandal. But then that's one of the risks that everyday television job does. But I think the biggest risk, though, was I was up for a very big promotion. It was in 2014. That's when also the war in Ukraine started. That's when my sister came from Donetsk to Kyiv to live with me. She had no job. She was traumatized. I didn't know what to do. And that was also the time when I realized I'm done with this job. I'm burnt out. I can't do it anymore. And although I know that I'm up for a very big promotion, that's not how it's going to work. So I quit. And for half a year, I think. So that was the point of my life when I genuinely believed that I will not be able to write anything anymore. I was like so tired, and also so discouraged by war, and so frightened, and a lot of things. So for half a year, I was baking cookies, and surprisingly, I was. So I'm gonna throw in the verb trying. I was trying to sell them. So, given the story with the makeup and the bears, you can see how that was probably destined for something not very successful. But and at that point also a lot of producers around me, a lot of like really influential people in the industry who valued me as a writer, but kind of got the idea that I quit, that I'm not getting into this anymore. So I felt like I was cutting the ties with the network too, with the industry. So and that felt like a huge risk at the moment. And I remember specifically somebody who was really, really not nice, but you know how that kind of lands into a very traumatic experience. He said to me, you're never going to be able to come back to the industry, you're never going to have this same income, all of that. And at that point, now I'm able to look back at it and say, well, that's, first of all, that's not nice to say that. And
true.
yeah, so true also. But when it lands into this place where you're very discouraged, that kind of sometimes rattles you. So, but looking back at it right now, I am so happy that I did that, because I might have been stuck in a job that I came to resent.
Yeah.
Probably turning into somebody I am not. Probably never discovering my values, and probably also never finding a lot of jobs connections or whatever comes from the place of very deep crisis. So I learned to also appreciate that crisis, but that took a lot of time. I really don't want to make it like a nice fable. It's not. It took a lot of work, it took some time, it took a lot of soul searching, but it worked out in the end. I'm really grateful.
What was it about the job that was that you had to get away from?
So we were doing Ukrainian versions of X Factor and Ukraine's Got Talent, and those were two of the highest rated television shows in Ukraine. So we had a lot of awards. I specifically had a lot of awards. I never got to hold any of those, because anytime there was an award show, I was in the editorial room writing or putting together the next show. There were a lot of times when I got to sleep in the office. I was in my 20s, so thank God my body forgave me for that. So the feeling was, it was like riding a wave, but also that was a very unproductive wave in the long run. So, and naturally, there comes a point. I think I was 27 or 28 by the time when I felt that I'm very exhausted, mental and physically, and there's just no way that can go on. But on the flip side of the writing vanity, if you are already at the biggest project and you really hate it, where do you go next?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I guess it's maybe redefining what big is, though, isn't it?
I know.
Right?
Yeah. So
you quit, and then what happened after that?
So half a year of baking cookies, I realized that I still like baking cookies, but I really don't care what people eat, so I'm not going to sell it to people. So that's just that. But then I went traveling, which also, to be honest, didn't really work. I heard a lot of stories of people traveling to look for themselves. I'm really curious to talk to those people, honestly. That didn't work for me. That doesn't mean it doesn't work at all. I came back, but I came back refreshed. And also the feeling of the ongoing war and the family and the sister and all of that. So I just kind of tuned back to my family again. I talked to them and got to reconsider and just went on to find another job. And then from then on, I started being self-employed and producing. And I think at a certain point, we also produced our own mini-series, which is something I would have never done.
Yeah, wow.
Had I stuck to television, because that's something that does not, the story was not something that falls within the budgets and the agenda of television. So yeah, that's how that worked.
So you never looked back?
I never did. I never did. I think it is. I never said it out loud that it's the best decision, though, because I just, and the odd thing is, once I kind of got back into my feet, the network came back, the people came back, the collaborations came back, all that came back. And that's where the well-being comes into place too. One of the values. It's hard to create something if you're not if you're not okay. So yeah.
And it sounded like you were completely spent in terms of your energy and time for yourself. Like the other important parts of life. Yeah. If you're working all the time and it consumes you, then is that a good life?
That's such a good question. And once again, I'm circling back to my 20s. I'm not sure how your 20s were like.
Very hustly like that as well. Yeah.
There you go. And then I think like once you're done with those and you're like, okay, oh good, thank God for the body that forgave me for all of the nights that I did not sleep and all of that. In 30s comes also the time where you're like, okay, what would I like to add to my job? What are the experiences that fulfill me, that make me happy? But in an odd way, I also feel like it's, I don't know, it's going to be a really odd metaphor. But when I was doing a lot of work, it felt like I was really hungry, and I was trying to eat as much as I could.
Yeah.
Which in terms of experience, in terms of learning, in terms of all of that. And once I felt like I'm full, I can kind of rest and digest a bit before dessert.
Yeah, sure. That
So-
makes sense. Are you in dessert now?
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing.
Absolutely. And that's such a good feeling, because being creative means being vulnerable, means being able to accept feedback. But now I'm looking forward to all of the brainstorming calls, to all of the creating stories, to all of the feedback sessions, because I feel strongly about the stories that we create. I know the places mentally where I was when I was writing my part of the story, so I'm happy to talk about that during the call. A lot of those mini things that kind of contribute to a bigger picture, but also besides work, just being able to put work aside and go explore, go drive, go walk, go...
And
yeah.
also, surely those things feed into your creative side and
Yeah.
for your work, doesn't it? If you're full up and you don't give yourself space for your mind to be creative,
Yeah.
then how do you expect it to just come up with things?
And I really wish I heard the question from you like back in 10 years ago, sometimes when I felt stuck in stories and just thinking that I'm not good enough, not talented enough, where in fact it's being able to rest, being able to have fun, being able to talk honestly about something with people around you.
Yeah, and to take input. So if you're always, outputting, if you're driven by someone else's agenda all the time, like you don't have that time to have stuff come in for your own stuff to come out. You know?
It's so true, yes. But also, I guess it takes time and a couple of falling down to
Of course. I mean, we
realize it.
can't have the light without the dark. We'd love to hear a time where you felt the state of awe or you were in flow.
So this may sound a bit... I'm usually in the state when I work now, almost every day. Because I get to create, and that means for a while to tune into the state of awe and just flow with it. But one of the states that I really love actually happened here in Tribe last summer, when I just came and started settling, and new life, new experiences, all of that. And of course at work too, that was a new chapter. And I was sitting in your backyard here, Dani, with the Zoom call with a couple of creatives, a producer and another writer, and we were crafting a new season of stories. That felt so amazing. I just felt the time. It was just levitation. Yeah, and now when I have coffee in the backyard, I come out and I see the table where I created. I was like, this is where stuff happened. So yeah.
So it
There you go.
helps change your perspective a bit, and knowing that you felt safe in a space, and everything was a whirlwind. I'm assuming. I don't know your story, and you don't have to share if you want to, don't want to, but like, yeah, being in a new place.
Yes.
Nobody here that you know, right? Did you know anyone?
No, I didn't. I spent the first months of my evacuation in Western Ukraine. Then I spent a couple of weeks in Slovenia, 3 weeks, because I have a friend there who just called and said, come over.
Okay.
So I hopped in a car and I drove to him. And it was really lovely there, but I didn't know Slovenian. And I was, of course, in the space of scarcity where it was not the time and place to learn Slovenian. When I realized I'm really lonely and it's hard to come back to Ukraine at the moment. So what do I know? I know English. So I probably will go to a country where I'll be able to speak English. And this is how it happened. I just landed in Edinburgh. I talked to Chris and Jane, who are the lovely family that I'm staying with. And that was such an odd thing. It was an evacuation interview, but in a way it was also like a Zoom speed date where like 40 minutes.
Must be a bit unreal feeling.
But it makes sense. I'm like a new person coming to their house, but then they are new people that I'm coming to. It had to work somehow, so that worked out. And they mentioned the Tribe co-working, and this is how I landed here. And I'm always looking for is being with people and being able to talk, and that worked out fantastically.
Actually, I don't know if you know this, but basically Jane created a WhatsApp group of people that she knew.
Okay.
And said, I'm hosting a young woman. Anybody have ideas? I'm like, well, she can come to Tribe. If, she's working, that's great. There's a community here. And a couple other people were messaging on this group too about how can we support you as a community.
This is fantastic. I feel like this is a really good time and place to say thank you very much for offering to join Tribe. I felt so supported and I felt so safe from day one here. I'm immensely grateful. And
we are also very happy to have you.
It's also so nice to reflect on that point in time as well, because when we think about it now, we can't imagine you not being here. Like when you went away for a while, you were away for sort of like 2 or 3 months. We kept chatting about you and being like, oh, I wonder how she's doing. And then when you came back, it was like open arms, Inessa's back.
I didn't realize it also that I now have people. But when I came back in March, I think one of the first people that I met was Keith at the seaside. And I just ran into him and he gave me this huge hug. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have somebody to hug me here. Oh. And then I came here and then I saw you and then I saw Alice and everybody was giving me huge hugs. And I was like, I have people. This is amazing. But like, it's so true also. When there's somebody, when there's network, when there's community, you're really unstoppable. And a lot of good things can be created from that.
Absolutely.
Just to finish up, can you tell us anything about what you're working on at the minute? Have you got anything that you're really excited about that you want to share?
So I am working on a couple of projects. I'm working on my day-to-day job, which is creating stories for detective stories. And we successfully passed the soft launch a month ago, which means we're now going into global launch, which is very, very cool because we started with 6 other mini studios and we were the only ones to survive the soft launch. I didn't know it's even a thing. I'm so happy I didn't know about it. I would have been like a nervous wreck. Yes. So it's a good job on the side of producers to navigate all the creatives through this, not telling them enough. Yeah. So there's that, and I really, really hope to produce. I'm looking into a form of it. It's going to be either a podcast or a mini series about something that does not fit into the nice world of mobile storytelling, where it's so it's more in-depth conversations, because I do have a couple of personal questions and experiences that I'd like to shape and form into a podcast where hopefully I would also be able to create a mini community of people sharing, just to create a safe space of people talking about something they're interested in. So there we go, and that takes a lot, and plus also keeping in my mind that I need some time to rest and hang out.
Enjoy yourself.
So it's all, I would say that's everyday routine, but it's the routine that I really love. Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Thanks for sharing everything, Inessa.
Thank you for listening and thank you for inviting me. Really a pleasure talking to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much to Inessa for joining us today. You can find out more about Inessa by following the links in our bios. To hear more about Tribe Porty and Keystone, you can find us on all social media platforms. Please head over to our website and subscribe to our newsletters, which includes monthly blogs to provide helpful insights into how we craft our weapons. This has been Working for Progress. We hope you join us again.